Wow. Welcome to the Pat Venture. I'm good at intros. That woman has duck slippers on. Oh, the first black heavyweight champion of the world, Jack Johnson. Didn't know him, but I thought this mural was good enough to tell the story all by itself. Music is so for the mind. You learn what you're going to do in life. Set out to do it as if God Almighty called you at this particular moment in history to do it. Don't just do a good job. Set out to do such a good job that the living, the dead, or the unborn could not do a better job. Words to live by right there. What better place for an MLK quote than on his own street?
Mr. Anderson!
In my car here, and I'm gonna go explore some more Savannah goodness. Reenactment readout. The Savannah siege. In the visitor center. Just to see. Do you see that thing right there? That is the Forrest Gump bench. That's his briefcase, or his suitcase, to go see Jenny. The boat I'm pointing through is the USS Savannah that spent its time during the Second World War. I think I can actually get you a nice, better sight. There it is right there. You see it? Probably look like a weirdo just doing this, but... I didn't notice it before, but that's actually the colony flag. You can see the 13 stars. I got those reenactments. Hey, look, another hurricane. But that one's not on a giant boat. 2 hurricanes? Well, that's not going to be good for Savannah. This is pretty cool. They turned the tree trunk into a table and used little pieces of log to sit on. It's like they also carved their name into the floor. One of the famous fighters of the war, Casimir Pulaski, even has a square named after him. Right here. There's also a statue, but oddly enough, it's not in his own square, it's in a different one. Another tour bus. 2 tour buses, in fact. At Madison Square. And this Madison Square even has a garden. I don't know if anybody fights on here, but one person who lost his battle in a fight for Savannah, Sergeant William Jasper. Sergeant Jasper, the famed revolutionary hero, was mortally wounded 100 yards northeast of this spot on October 9th, 1779. It's actually a mansion where Sherman had his headquarters, right here, right by this church ringing its bell. Still don't think I could do it. I want to be able to get out at the spot. You know, I want to be able to soak in the spot, not just ride past it in a 5-second spurt and there's the time. His house was his headquarters, December 22nd, 1864 until February 1st, 1865. Actually got those years right. I must be getting better at years. Charles Green offers the use of his home. How old do you think this fence is? Looks pretty patina-esque to me.
It has 15 stained glass windows, which take the life of Christ from the beginning to the end. It's the largest organ in Savannah, and the entire inside of that church is solid oak. It's a gorgeous church.
Can you go in there?
No, ma'am.
Oh,
Only on services.
no kidding. Oh.
Look at this thing now. Felt to look like an English cathedral. It's really come to life. Imagine if that church came to life, though. These guys would have been the canons of the time. Got 2 of them right here. Here was the beginning of the road to Durian, now called the Ogeechee Road. Probably the first road laid out in Georgia. See the engraving here. 1863. And I believe this big bucket is for horses. Or also human beings, and I'm sure they wouldn't mind. Just dunk your head in there, put a couple of apples, go crazy. Oh, that's right, there he is. Okay, I'd probably take a tour on a horse. That's pretty awesome. Look at it. Damn. A lot of squares for sure. This one was looking too much like a triangle, so putting some new bricks down over there. Looks like this one's open though, so let's go take a look inside. Look at that organ. Damn. There's old St. Patty. You can see the Girl Scout cookies in the window. Because this is the first Girl Scout headquarters. This house and the house adjacent to it, if I know what adjacent means. Just a bigger word to say next to. See Juliette Gordon right here, 1860 to 1927. She founded Girl Scouting in the United States, March 12th, 1912. This flame right here was actually lit by the first Girl Scout. Daisy Gordon Lawrence, first registered Girl Scout, lighted this perpetual flame, November 14th, 1965. Didn't know Savannah had its own Girl Scout cookie. But which one is the most popular?
Guessing the Thin Mint is the number one.
It is. Yeah. It definitely is. I think that's kind of across the board.
You're adding to the statistic there.
Yes.
Here's another bit of trivia. When did they start selling cookies? 1917. Although it is where the Girl Scouts got their start in 1912, it wasn't in Savannah for long. It moved on to Washington, D.C., and a year after that to New York City, where it sits today on 5th Avenue. This was actually the carriage house. Didn't know that. This was the carriage house that held the cars and the horses of the time. There's a copper face imprint. In short, Sir Robert Baden-Powell made the Boy Scouts in England in 1908. The girls got jealous and said, "Oh, the boys going camping. Oh, I want to learn how to make spaghetti at a campfire." And Bob's your uncle. The Girl Guides were made, or the Girl Scouts as we know them in the United States, by Sir Robert's sister. Then, a couple of years later, she came over, and Robert had a profound influence on her, and she took that information, and she brought it over to the United States. At a time when women's options in life were very limited, and the First World War was revving up, these women needed to know how to be a productive member of society. While the men were out there fighting the war, they needed to make the parts for the war. And that's just something I like to call history, baby! What up? This building right here. This building's seen better days. Pulaski wasn't in his own square. He's in Monterey Square. Here he sits, the Polish war hero who fought and died in the Savannah Siege. The 9th of October. 1779. Ladies and gents, get your boats out, because this street is closed when it floods. Maybe if you have one of those cars that also is a boat at the same time. I know those exist, don't they? Down this way it looks like they're replacing the telephone poles. Oh boy, do I remember doing that. For the fence posts. This road right here is Ogeechee Road. Said to be the oldest road in Georgia. I've come back to Crystals because today is the last day that I can get half off on my last receipt. Hey, Mr. White! Mr. White, we gonna make some crystal? Guess they're closed. Dine-in's till 12 and it's not 12. Drive-through it is. Man, these crystals really remind me of Coney Island in White Castle. Because they're practically the same thing. You just get a little guy in here. Oh my god. Little slice of meat. Onions, pickles, mustard. You know, there's some people that do mustard. I never knew that it would be good, mustard on a burger. I was always kind of like a ketchup traditionalist. But this right here, this is good eating right here. Thank you guys for watching. And as MLK says, do everything to the best of your ability. Make sure that nobody could do it any better than you could. Live, zombie, vampire, alien, dinosaur, cockroach. Is that clear? Crystal. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.